so nervous tonight.
And after all, the unknown is right. Why would you be so nervous? So many people are calling him the Armless. Yet, I don't think he is. I'm Rheltar, a dedicated unknown main with over 6,000 hours into Dead by Daylight, and the unknown is a killer I just love. I think this killer is just much stronger than what people give him credit for. Most people just don't play him with the correct playstyle. In the last month, I've reached a level of mastery with this killer that allowed me out of 214 games to only lose twice, for a kill rate of 93%, most escapes being through hatches I don't slug, unless the last survivor is right there. Over time, I have developed my very unique playstyle that allows me to win almost every game and do win streaks in the 100. And today I would like to share this playstyle with you by taking you at the heart of my games. This video is meant to be educational and help you actually play the unknown better. You will see that he's a killer that isn't meant to be played the way most killers are. He's not a killer meant to chase a survivor, hook them and repeat, like the other killers. No, he's much effective with a split pressure playstyle. Through the games I will show you, I will be detailing my thought process, and I will also give you a few unknown tips, in hopes that you too can become a better unknown player. I hope you will enjoy the games and learn a lot of things about the unknown. Speaking of learning, if you are interested in the playstyle I'll be showcasing, I can only recommend you to go check out my guide that I made a few months ago. It explains exactly the mindset you need to have when you play the unknown. And with that, I wish you some happy games to watch. Let's start with the first game. Our first game will be played on Nostromo. Now, Nostromo is not a bad map for the unknown. It has a lot of walls which allow the unknown to take cover for orbitals, and that's pretty nice. So this game, as you will see, will actually be played against a Dutch Survive with Friends. It's a 4-stack, and we had a little chat in the end game. I always love Dutch people because, as a Belgian player, they are my neighbors. So as you can see, I first got an orbital shot on the Nicolas Cage, and then I got a direct shot on the David, but I don't commit to any of them. It actually triggered my perk Dark Devotion here that allows me to be undetectable. And now I'm on the prowl, while being undetectable. This Kate was pretty aware, but I can get her by shooting through the wall. And that's something you need to remember on the unknown. Survivors are not safe if they are through walls, because you can hit them through walls, and you can also hit them through pallets. It is a killer that a lot of people tend to play like the Huntress, when in reality, he's not played like that at all. He's a killer that relies on ambushes and short chases and orbital shots to win. His hallucinations help him a lot to go around the map for this. But anyway, we played a bit of hit and run so far, and we got a pretty nice start. We have 2 people injured and weakened. We have 1 hook, and the last survivor hasn't seen us yet. And now we triggered our second perk, Unforeseen. Unforeseen also makes me undetectable, and it allowed me to sneak up on the Cheryl. But I never want to chase. Instead, since I left someone here, I know that they're likely to be here. And yeah, of course Nicolas Cage was here, and as I was undetectable, I once again got an ambush. As you can see, being undetectable combined with the fact that you can be pretty much everywhere on the map with the hallucinations is really strong on the unknown. Despite the insane pressure I've been dishing out since the game started, I can see that these survivors are actually pretty eager to stick on gens. That gen was really progressed, but I know that someone else is here, so I see this David and I will just give him a quick infection. But as always, right after you shoot a survivor, you should never be chasing them unless you can be 100% sure that you will two-tap them, because if you let them dispel themselves by looking at you, then you will have wasted your time. Meanwhile, if you leave them weakened, then they will have a hard time, because if they are back on your gen and you come back with an undetectable perk or like something like Monitor and Abuse for instance, they are very weak to orbitals and they can just get sniped without even getting into chase in the first place. So anyway, I shoot this check spot here because I know that's where Kate will be standing to look where I'm going. Like, good survivors usually use check spots, and the unknown is pretty strong at countering them because the UVX hits through a blast and not as a direct projectile. Now I'm no longer undetectable, so I come back to actually see the David here. So the fact that he was previously weakened, even though he managed to dispel himself before I could shoot him a second time, it forces him to take an optimal path, and it actually sets him up for a M1. So after attacking him, I actually get to trigger my Dark Devotion on him, and now I'm undetectable again. I'm teleporting to this area of the map because, likely, with where the gens were last done, one survivor is likely to path for the hook from there. Unfortunately, I don't find anyone. I guess that they are still sticking to gens. Here I find two people healing, and since I left them weakened previously, it's actually a really nice double down for me. And they had no way to see it coming, because I was undetectable. That's literally a free double down. And that's basically what you should look to do with the unknown. You set people up, you injure them, you weaken them, and then you leave them, because when they heal, they are very vulnerable to your AoE damage. And yeah, once again, double hit because two people were healing. One of them was actually healthy, so it's not a down, but still, look at that. Now I'm in the position to straight up win the game, here and there. Now, I know that this Nicolas Cage is rushing to get his friends on the other side of the map, but the nice thing with the unknown is that I have one of the best mobility and I can just teleport to cut him off. And there we go. GG's. They were very good sports about it though, and we had a pleasant chat about them being Dutch and me being Belgian. GG's neighbors. Which leads us to our next game. Our next game will be played on the Sanctum of Wrath. The Sanctum of Wrath is a pretty good map, all things considered, for the unknown. It has a few weaknesses, as the survivor can look down at you from the top of main. Elevation, like hills for instance, is pretty bad for the unknown, but anyway, I'm yapping. So we first find this Claudette. She drops and she had balanced landing, but as you can see we are pretty patient. With the unknown, when you have a survivor in front of you and they have a full weaken timer, you can afford to be patient because they will take a while to dispel it. And then we get a nice little orbital on this Renato, and it triggers our Dark Devotion, so we leave immediately. Right now I'm undetectable and my teleport radius is on him. This way it allows us to go for another orbital on the Kate. And I think this scared the Kate so much. She got so confused because, like, to her, she thought that she was safe because of the wall, but I can shoot above it. And so she thought that I was coming from another direction than what I was really coming from. And that's an easy down. So I kicked the gen with Unforeseen to replace my Dark Devotion undetectable with the Unforeseen undetectable, and then I will try to get some cheeky plays elsewhere. So I guess that I could have orbitaled this Claudette, especially since she 99'd the heal, so I assume a resilience player. Unfortunately, I didn't see that someone was on that gen, and if it was someone healthy, I would rather sneak up on them to get the distance, so I didn't go for an orbital here. I should have, though. So that's the nice thing with the unknown, though. You are everywhere on the map with hallucination. Look, I'm just teleporting left and right, injuring them, weakening them, and they, since I never commit to a chase, they never know where I am. With my playstyle, I keep track of the position of every survivor on the map. I saw that someone was on this gen, but I guess that they ran away because unfortunately at this moment I don't have an undetectable perk. But Now that changes because I got to kick this gen with Unforeseen, and now I'm undetectable again, but that guy on the elevation actually detected me. So here it could have been an actually nice hit, but I underestimated the thickness of that rock. I tried to hit through them, but the rock was too thick. But anyway, since I managed to sneak up on them while undetectable, once again, that's a pretty, pretty easy down. And even here, a double hit. I get a bit confused with the hook. I didn't see the hook directly, but now I will just hook them both. This just goes to show how strong undetectable perks are on the unknown and how little they make him. Because you can shoot the survivors from orbitals, and if they can't see you because you are shooting from behind cover and you are undetectable, they literally have no way to dodge it, no matter how good they are. And that's one thing that is really, really strong on the unknown, because, like, look, I just kicked the gen there, I just took the guy, and now I'm already on this guy. If my hallucination was any further from him, I could have teleported there without him hearing the audio cue, and he would have just died. And then look, if the survivor doesn't have a lot of distance on you initially, and you just sneak up on them, either by teleporting close to them or by coming with an undetectable perk, that's a 2-tap, and there is not much they can do. So what this Kate is about to do here is something that a lot of non-players don't know how to deal with. Basically, if a survivor is rushing you like that and trying to give you a hug, you can do what I just did and flick your camera while shooting. This will most often throw the survivor off, and you will actually get a hit on them. And yeah, like, again, if as the unknown you have a lot of distance on the survivor and they are fully weakened when the chase starts, they usually don't last long. Right now I can sense that the survivors are getting pretty frustrated with me. I never give them chase for a long time, I just go for 3 hits and I can see them starting to click with their flashlight and going for sheep blinds on the hook. With how cocky this Gabriel was acting, despite being on death hook, I can sense that he has decisive strike, that's why I'm not picking, but I'm more than happy to go for more injuries on everyone. Now, after injuring this Claudette, I also want to give a weaken to her. This way she will be again vulnerable to snipes. And I teleport right away because I suspected someone would try to pick up the Gabriel. But here you can see that these survivors are not total sandwiches and I actually get dedarted. And then I pick up because at this point I lost my pressure over that. He's 99 in recovery and I would rather hit the D-strike now. So I infect him, and then I will just leave because I find another opportunity. I get them through the wall, they are now all weakened, I snuff their goon, and then I will kick the check for scene. I got a peek at the Renato through the window, and I know he will be holding that check spot, so I hit him through the wall. And now it's time for the highlight of the game. While I'm undetectable with Unforeseen, I teleport to shoot them from an unexpected angle, and strike! I got them all down, and GG's. Now, so far, I've shown you only pretty easy games. It's not always the case, like sometimes, even though I very rarely lose, I have close calls, and sometimes I have survivors that are very coordinated, but they all have multiple thousand hours like me, and in these games, sometimes it can get a bit sweaty. This game will actually be a prime example. In this game, we have a squad of survivors that all have similar hours to mine, and they brought some pretty nasty perks, like Deliverance, Unbreakable, Decisive Strike, Dead Hard. Everybody has them. And as you can see, we already have a sprint burst here that is pretty finely played, and as you can see, these survivors will not be messing around. Right away, they all swarm me, because they want to dispel themselves, and that's the best way to play against the unknown. If the unknown is running the area add-on where everyone starts weakened, then swarming him at the start like that is absolutely the right play. And here I make a bit of a fool of myself. I swing at the window. Like, here I was really stressed out already, and I knew that this game would be really hard. But here with the Nancy, I managed to actually fake using my power at the pallet. This way she doesn't drop the pallet and I actually get a hit. And this is the start I needed, because now I have Dark Devotion. And Dark Devotion puts my terror radius on the Nancy and makes me undetectable, which is actually a golden opportunity for me to start actually dealing damage to the survivor or start weakening them again. Here, despite being undetectable, the Quan actually left his gen early and went for a check spot to see me coming. So I assume that they gave him the info on the chat, that or they're really paranoid, but I had the distance on him to still shoot him and to tap him. As you've seen previously, I shot him at main and then I just left, and this means that when I came back, his weakened infection was full and I could afford to actually wait a long time. And I could actually get him this way. So I know that someone is at shack, but right now I need some pressure on the survivor. I cannot afford to be chasing anyone. So I get undetectable with unforeseen and then I shoot this Nancy. The first shot was free, and now I try to go for a follow-up shot by using the edge of the truck cargo to actually make the UX bounce flat to where she could be holding the check spot. But she's pretty smart, she saw that coming, and right now I don't want to be chasing her, because even if I find her, she might be close to dispelling herself. So instead I teleport away, and I get a nice little snipe here. I talked about this in my guide, but as the unknown it's important to remember that you are not Huntress or Springtrap. You can actually hit people through pallets, so shooting at the back of the pallet just like I did is really strong. And look, this Nancy that I left earlier with a full infection, instead of chasing her, I could actually sneak up on her directly, and since I was so close to her with a full timer, she was just toast. She couldn't make it around shack. And that's what you should be aiming to do. Never chase a survivor that you just shot. Just weaken them and then teleport away or hide. This way, when you will bump into them later, they will be a 2-tap. Most all of the time. So while I was looking in basement, they actually picked up the Dwight. But I don't panic. I get another layer of undetectable through unforeseen, and then I teleport. I'm too far for them to hear the teleport notification, and I shot the Dwight. And after shooting the Dwight, I'm going away for him, and I shoot the Quan. And then I catch the Dwight on the rotate. I guess that he wasn't paying attention to Quan, or like they miscommunicated that through their comms, and that was an opportunity for me that I have to take, because this game is really sweaty. So I actually get in time to the basement to get a double shot on them, and that's an easy down on the Lara that doesn't make it out of the basement. And then Nancy is actually playing really well here. So she goes into that locker because she has decisive strike, and she forces me to actually take it, because if I don't, she has a flashlight and she will just flashlight save the Lara. So yeah, pretty cheeky from her. I chase her away just enough for it to not be a flashlight save angle, and then I safely pick the Lara that I will bring to the basement. I have like 20 seconds left of Dark Devotion, 20 seconds left of Undetectable, and I have to use this time the best way I can. So I teleport right away, and I know that Quan was in this general area, so it's no surprise to me that I can get him with an orbital in that gen. And yeah, like, imagine, he didn't have any terror radius, and I shot from behind the rock. Like, there was literally nothing he could do. And since he had a full timer, and I was already pretty close from him, I could actually get him at this filler pallet pretty easily. Obviously, with how aggressively the Lara went to rescue the Nancy earlier, I should have guessed that she was playing Deliverance. So she actually extracted herself from the basement. I come to check here. She probably picked the gen before leaving, but my oppression on the gen by the hook probably regressed it. And then I come back to the hook because there is a highly progressed gen right by the hook, and I know that these survivors will probably want to do something about it. So I found the Lara that actually just escaped from the basement, and I fake shooting, and I can see that she goes for circles. Maybe she's trying to bait the dart. I don't pick her right away though, because like in 90% of cases, anyone that runs Deliverance will probably be running Decisive Strike too, so I don't want to give her a free up from the ground. The Dwight rotated perfectly while I was not looking, and unfortunately for him though, he's out of position, and that gives me a free M1. And they pop a gen in the distance. I'm starting to freak out a bit because a lot of gens have high progress, and yeah, but I shot the Dwight and I leave, and I saw this Quan tap the gen actually, and that means he has no decisive strike left, and he's also on Death Hook. So exceptionally I commit to this chase, and look, like, just like I said, filler pallets are not safe against the unknown. You can actually detonate your UVX against the back of the pallet, and then it will blast the survivor if he stays at the loop, and that's what happened just right there. Most unknown players playing like Huntress or Springtrap, and they go around the loop and they try to get a 50-50 at the pallet, but that's just not how you play the unknown. And I got a very close call here. So I actually will get a double weakened, and then I will teleport away, because they know I'm here, so they won't be healing anymore, so they need to see me teleport away, they need to see that I'm not there anymore. And then from behind this wall, I shoot, and I get 2 survivors at once. Healing against the unknown is just really dangerous for the survivors. At this point, I decide to pick. I know that technically, if I was playing sweatier, I should have left them on the ground and just try to go for the Lara, but I don't mind giving them a chance because at this point the game is won anyway. So I will offer them a chase for once. So here I actually swing blindly through the pallets, but she expected that, and unfortunately I'm the unknown and I get it through angles that no other range killer can, and I get it through the pallet. And then Dissonancy will give me a chase. Dissonancy is going to shack, and you can see that these survivors are pretty experienced. Like, that fast throw was pretty clean, and then I anticipated her running into me to dodge the shot on the pallet. But I shot the table by a pallet and I got her. And then I will get a follow-up shot because I know that she's holding that check spot, waiting to use the god pallet by seeing where I'm coming from. But that's a really easy shot angle for the unknown, and GG's, the game is over. And this will be the last game of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you thought about it. Would you like me to actually make more videos? Would you like me to maybe start streaming? I've been considering streaming for a while, but I'm still very anxious about it. But I don't know. I have very good results with the unknown, and I would like to show my experience to the world, to try to educate the community on how this killer is actually very strong in the right hands. So yeah, tell me in the comments, and I wish you guys and girls a very good day.